Hey, how's it going? I'm going to go through how to draw fire. So I think this is very useful when you're drawing any sort of tattoo, and I'm going to go over the structure of fire, and you should be able to get it, especially if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner, this is going to be very much for you. I'm going to be using regular printing paper, and it doesn't really matter what I'm using on this one because I'm just kind of I'm just showing you kind of stuff. So let's get started. So first thing I want to talk about is with fire in general. Flames almost always go upward, obviously, right? So if you have something fluid, water goes down, fire goes up. So you want this kind of up motion, essentially, for everything. And that would be like a stagnant flame, per se. The middle flame is almost, not like, usually we represent it with this middle portion, the highest, right? But you don't have to do that. You can do like a row of fire, but if we're talking about like a fireball, a skull on fire, anything like that, a sword on fire, well, sword might be a little different because the surface area is a little longer. Usually the middle part is the highest up. It's just kind of the way it usually goes. Very similar to just a regular candle flame, right? So one thing that happens as well. Also, one other thing, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification. I'm going to be posting a lot more often on this channel, and I'm going to be posting maybe 2-3 times a week. But sometimes, I take little breaks, so please, hit that subscribe, click the notifications. It'll let you know when I do it. I'm going to go over a lot of things on this channel. The other thing is, it's also that there's almost always a bit of a wave to it, right? It's touching the air. It pretty much hits the air, and it's waving back and forth with the wind. So taking essentially a triangle, which I always do, I always like thinking of it that way, and I'm warping that triangle. Something like that, right? So that would be like if you take one little part of the flame, it is a warped triangle. It doesn't always warp in a C curve like that. It can warp like this in an S curve, but it's not always necessary. I think the center usually looks nicer as an S curve, and the sides look nicer as a C curve, in my opinion. Right? Everyone's gonna have their style of flame, but see how that looks so much better than this already? Because there's literally in that one, there's an S, well, it's a backwards S, and there's like a C curve and a C curve. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So that's pretty much how I do most fire. If you're doing it along like a straight line, like I said, like let's just say there's a sword and flame, anything like that, like a sword on fire, and it's all kind of, it's on its side and it's upward. I usually group them in threes, maybe with a couple in the middle. I like that kind of, see how those are in the middle, like this. Ooh, that's more of a C curve. I like grouping them in threes, big, and then two or three small ones on the side. Big, and then like a couple of, it could be more, could be less. It's up to you. I'm just giving you kind of a starting point of where you can start and maybe like build out into that. So of course, if you take this and you break them up into little tertiary ones, so for example, if I go down here, hopefully you can still see this. So if I go down here, take that same shape, middle S curve, and then I have a C curve over here and a C curve over here, right? Let's do this bottom one here. I can always kind of branch off over here to smaller ones. Right here, split that up. Maybe put a little S curve there, a little C curve here, and then break it up. And you don't want to make them too even on this one because you want to make it look organic. Maybe try to make them not as distinct. Same thing with this. But what I'm saying is you're taking this main form and then going off on these secondary forms here that kind of attach to it. But really, you want to stick to that main form and then break off. That's my opinion, by the way. This is, again, the way I do it. Everybody's going to have their way of doing it, and you're going to have your way of doing it. I'm just giving you a starting point, if that makes sense. If you find this valuable, please do me a huge favor. Hit the like button, because then I'll know way more of what to do and how to, what exactly teaching method you want to see, because it really does help out the channel when you do that as well. It brings back a lot of traffic. But that's pretty much how I do it. Okay. Hopefully you will keep that. It's very, very simple. I don't know why people get very flustered about it. It's relatively easy. Just practice it. It's fun to practice this. Draw a skull, put it on fire. Draw a ball or something, right? Like a basketball from Space Jam on fire. And see if you can toy with those edges. Sometimes really small ones, like I said, if it goes in a line like that. But anyways, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Please do me a huge favor. 2 things. Number 1, if you like the way I teach, go check out my full courses on Skillshare. I'm going to put the link in the description. Skillshare is basically like YouTube. It's a whole other platform, but they charge there per month. And the reason they do that is because they keep the quality very, very high. On YouTube, things can become very entertaining, and not so much about the learning. There, it's all about the learning. They will delete entire courses that if somebody posts them, and they'll just delete them if they don't like them. So the quality is super high, and I think it's worth it. If you want to try that out for free for a month, click the link in my description. It'll basically give you a free month of Skillshare, and you can see everything I have and everybody else has to offer on that site. I have an entire program on how to draw hands. I break everything down. It's my highest rated program. It's also my most popular program, how to draw hands. I go through every part about drawing hands and put it in video form for beginners. So go check that out if you're interested, if you want to level up your skill. But that's pretty much it. Remember, that's free for a month when you sign up. You can just have it free for a month and then just cancel, at the very end of that, and you get it all for free. That's it. Share the video. That was the last thing, and I'll talk to you next time, okay? See you very soon, and don't forget, I always have an announcement, sorry, but talk to me. Say something in the comments, give me some feedback, and I will give feedback back, okay? Talk to you very soon, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Later.